Oh yeah, black sun in the hizzle, oh the shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. We're here at the Champions Corner, so I'm waiting on my two co-hosts. That'd be Yanga and brother Trevor. So we're gonna give them a minute. Um, since I'm on here, um, twin. Uh, Hey Trevor, okay, let me send you the okay. So Trevor's here. Let me send the invite because I definitely want to have Trevor on for this. All right, so Trevor's coming on. Trevor's coming on. All right, Trevor, I sent you the link. Man, yeah, we gotta man, some new things coming up. Some new things. Well, potential. Let me just say a potential. I'm putting it out there. Um, Twin, Deacon, if y'all can get a hold of MD20, let them know. MD, I know you're out there working. I'm sending out the bat signal. I need to get your email address because we need to talk. We need to talk. Trevor, what's going on, man?
I'm I'm good, man. What's up with you?
Man, hey twin, send a message to MD. So I don't know if you recall a show I did with MD. It was a show that Adon was on, and then later on, MD was talking, and he was like, I thought about joining the league. You remember he said that?
Yeah, that was a couple of days ago.
Right. Okay, so you
Yeah.
did catch that. I mean, shit, we at the Champions Corner. Trevor, talk to me, man. I mean, I started when he said that, I started thinking about that. You know what I thought about? You know what I
So
thought about? Oh,
no, so let me say this. I think I think in the future when we do these, we gotta lay some ground rules
okay.
that that keep people from coming on and hijacking the show. Cause
Okay, for sure, for
like
sure.
cause I mean you'll have, and no disrespect to the brother, but even Angel, when he comes on, he takes longer to get to his point. So, you know what I mean? Like he'll just be going on and on and on, and then you'll have the other guys on the panel. And I think that's why it always seems like him and Yanga are
Mhm.
bucking heads, because
Right.
Yanga is more like, get to the point, let me rebuttal you.
Right,
So
right, right, right.
so I don't know if you wanna start giving your panel, your panelists like a minute to get it off, and then they
Okay,
got to
okay.
pass the mic, man,
I
because
usually
even
I usually do
even
this to
last
kind of
time. Yeah, because
you know what it is, but yeah.
even last time, let's think about it. When the guy that wear the mask was on, that's
Uh-huh.
what I'm gonna call him, because I don't like how he disrespected the panel.
Yeah,
That was ridiculous. But and I see him do it on everybody's panel, so it wasn't just
right.
exclusive to this one. But
Uh-huh.
he'll just get on and just go into these long diatribes. He'll
Long
just go and go
winded.
and go. That's why I
Right.
got off the pan. That's why I got off, because I'm like, man, I ain't gonna get a word in. I'm like, man, this dude just gonna keep running his damn mouth, and that's what he did.
Right. Well, and that's what and that's what I was telling Yang about, man. And he's even seasons of five. Solar and Angel can get new judges if this is to whoever. If they bring that long-winded word salad, they're going the same thing's gonna happen. Same thing's gonna
See,
happen. But
I'm gonna tell you, I love the league. Like,
yeah.
legit, what I do when I'm at work, I go back and I watch like every debate that I can. I love the league. I even offer to be a judge, but
Right.
I think for me it'll be harder to be a judge, because, like, say if I'm on the panel with Yanga and people see that, then they're gonna be like, oh no, he's judging.
Oh,
Yeah, he's judging the
right.
Yanga debate. You know what I mean?
That
Because
makes sense.
I think Yanga beat KOT. Like, and I think he beat him bad. So it's like, imagine if I was a judge of that. Then they're gonna be like, well, nah, man, you always on the
Ah,
panel with them.
you
Of
part of
course
the
you're gonna
arena
say that.
camp. You a part of the arena camp.
Yeah. But
It's a story. I get
I
it.
rock with the league, man. I love the league,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
I think it could be so great, man. But yeah, I do definitely think some things need to be cut down time wise.
Okay.
Because sometimes I'll be listening and I'm like, damn, man, y'all got to speed this up.
Right. No, I get it.
So
I get it, bro. And like I said, this will be the new, I'll just, because, even me and Yanga, we said we were going to have a time limit, and a couple of shows we kind of went over. And so, this will be the new, hey, wrap it up. So,
just
yeah.
think about it. Think about it. Think about it. That's the last thing I'm gonna say before Yanga. What's up, Yanga? The last
What's good,
show,
man? Y'all had to get me
it
caught up
was
to speed.
the last show. It was about 7 people on the panel,
Right.
and the panel was dominated by 2 people.
Right.
And
Right.
you can't run a conversation like that, because then it just turns into like a, oh, I'm better than you type thing. Oh,
Yeah.
let me tell you how great I am. No, let me tell
Right.
you how great I am. No, but look, I do this. Come on, that's ridiculous, man. This YouTube, man. This is not real life.
Right. Right.
Right.
Well, on a Champions Corner, we definitely want you to join us, Trevor, because I mean, like you said, you love the league, and I know you got some dream matches that you like to see, and yeah, I mean, if you don't be a judge, you could definitely be a commentary on the arena, man, because we're gonna be doing this regularly, and like I said, we're gonna deal with champions, we're gonna be dealing with people in the playoffs, and we're gonna be dealing with dream matches. Some matches y'all would like to see, and then we're gonna be dealing with some recruiting. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I thought about what MD said, man, and I'm really, I not only I could foresee him in the league, I could foresee MD and Rio going at it.
That might be a good So you completely done, Blackson? That's it?
No. It's just some
I mean,
things didn't work out, man.
because you were on a roll, man, and I know what the situation is, but once you were vindicated of that, man, that's ridiculous, man. I think, you know what I'm saying? I personally like to see you in the league, because it brings that diversity. I mean, because you coming up with the vegan debates and stuff. I'm like, come on, man, ain't nobody doing this. So, yeah, I just
I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite debates with Son, and why I've always appreciated Son as part of the whole solution to the problem that Black America faces. Is one of my favorite debates is when he tied in healthcare, the billions and trillions of dollars we spend in healthcare, which is money we already possess, not money we got to go out and get. This is money when we go and talking about this healthcare, this is money coming out of our pockets. So this is trillions of dollars that we possess. And some of that could be held just by basically taking better care of ourselves.
Yep.
We could really knock a dent in the what Son calls the healthcare cartel. We could really knock a dent in that by just taking better care of our health ourselves, because we all know that healthcare is not preventive but maintenance. They never get rid of the ill. It will put them out of business, but they give you something to masquerade the pain. Here's something for the pain. Here's something. They're always treating the symptom and not the cause.
Yeah.
And insurance is the biggest scam. Insurance is the biggest scam in this country.
Absolutely.
Because when you look at, like, even for me, like what I pay for insurance a week for me and my daughter, and how much times we actually use it, and then when you do use it, they run you through the ringer. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
we constantly.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a racket. It is a racket.
Exactly.
Racket. Yeah, and the healthcare and the in the industries I talked about in that debate are in cahoots, man. They're in cahoots. They've sworn an oath not to talk about bad against these industries, that being the meat, dairy, and eggs. So here I am. I'm not under oath, so I can tell you all the full truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth about meat, dairy, and eggs and what to do to you. So yeah, man. Okay, but
a debate.
What?
No, go ahead. Oh no, I was going to say a debate. I'm not I'm not a debater. I'm a podcast host, so I can run my mouth. But there was a particular debate that I wanted to do, like, as a one-off, and that was with Suave, because I heard him say this a lot of times, and I want to challenge it. he says that he thinks people were smarter back then than they are now. And that, I mean, that's to me, that's a ridiculous thing to even say when you look at how far we are now. So that was always something that I kind of wanted to have a dialogue, not necessarily a debate, because I'm not the guy that's going to do PowerPoints and all that stuff. Unless my wife does it for me, I can't do it. So I know my lane.
Okay.
How far? I missed my connection. Isn't the best connection. What did you say when Suave said what? I missed that.
No, Suave often says on his panels that he thinks people were smarter back then versus now. And like when he's saying back then, he's not talking about like 10 years ago. He's talking about like back then, like primitive people.
Right.
And he's saying because they didn't have the use of computers and stuff like that. And I always wanted to challenge that, but I was never like, man, let me hit this panel, because it's too many people and I don't want to get into the back and forth arguing and yelling and all that stuff. So because I don't do that.
There go MD. Shout out to MD20, man. Hey.
Shout out MD.
MD got the back signal, MD. Hey, MD. You put it out there already, brother. I'm thinking, man, some recruitment need to be going on here in the SBDL, man. I think MD would be a good attribute. Not only a good attribute, but I think him and Rio would be a good. That'd be that's already my dream match. That's a dream match right there.
That'll be your dream match.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be a mirror match.
I definitely like MD. I think MD can hold his own. After being on a panel with him and then going back and checking out the live that you guys did, I'm like, he's solid in his stuff. You know, he is solid in his stuff. He'd definitely be a good addition. And he wouldn't be a slouch.
No.
He wouldn't be a slouch. Should he decide to join the league, I definitely would love to have him come in with the camp, man, and represent the arena and come in kicking ass with us. You know, I think he'd be a great addition to the team.
Yeah, I would love that, man. MD.
Yeah.
We know you're listening, brother. We know you're on the road, man.
So think about it, man. We sending out first round draft pick, man. We sending out.
Yeah.
So Yanga, did you think you would be? Did you think you would have been able to beat Rio had it ended up that way? In the championship, because I had Yanga and Rio in the championship. I think Rio and I would have had a good. I'm gonna tell you honestly, I had me and Domo. I thought I was gonna see Domo. Is great. Yeah, Domo to me, Domo's great. I know y'all had y'all thing, but Domo's great. But I could see how he could turn some people off. I love to listen to him because I think he's a good teacher. But his style may not fit. Yeah, his style may not fit the audience. Put it that way. Because the audience likes we got a microwave audience.
Yeah, I like Domo. I like Domo's style. I like what Domo brings. I'm gonna tell you, my only turn off to Domo is I just don't think Domo takes lessons of life well. He doesn't take L's well, and that distracts away from so much of his great debate skills because you get caught up on his going into why he lost, and then at times it can almost be insulting. It can almost be a put down to judges or certain people, like what they don't understand. I get what he's saying. Maybe it's the method and what he's trying to explain, but sometimes he just comes off, just to be blatant and straight up and down, he comes off like a sore loser. But as a debater, I think I don't have a problem with his style. And I think he brings his shit. So I saw it being he and I. I saw him crying about him taking that ass whooping to me. I saw so like, but that Yanga, them judges just like Yanga. That's what I saw. But you had him beating Scheme, right? Because he beat Scheme's ass, and I love Scheme, but he beat Scheme's ass. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought me personally, I thought he won. I don't know about beat his ass either. You know what I'm saying? I did think he won. However, at that particular time, we weren't addressing the issues of the judges. So, as being a league member, I went with the thing of the judges. I get his gripe though. I get his gripe. One of the things that was in his favor is season 4 was a wash, and he'll get to see Scheme again in season 5. Like me, I'll get all my big shout out to KOT, much respect, brother, but my haters did it to you. My haters keep throwing you in my face. So now the next time I see you, I gotta eat you. I gotta make it clear that I ate you. You know what I'm saying? It can't be anything close. And I think that's what Domo is gonna do to Scheme. I think Domo is gonna skin him if he sees him again, just because I don't think that doesn't mean I think Scheme is a slouch. I just think Domo is gonna go in his little bag of tricks.
I think the judges. I think the judges go in, and I think I heard Melvin say this one time. Melvin was saying that a Domo 10 is different from anybody else's 10. So I think what the judges do is they go into it already like, you know what? I got to grade Domo so much higher than like on a harder scale than everybody else that it almost doesn't give him a chance. Because in that rebuttal round, in the rapid fire round, Domo was putting it on Scheme so bad. There was a stretch where Scheme just stopped talking and like was just taking the ass whooping. I would have defeated him just off of that. Like, come on, man. It's basically like he conceded the debate.
You're saying if it was a boxing match, the corner would have threw the towel in?
They would have threw the towel in. He was sunning him. And I went back and I watched it. I'm like, man, he beat the hell out of him. Like he really beat his ass. And I mean, and like I say, Scheme will tell you from his first debate, I said that he was the future of the league. So this is no disrespect to Scheme, but Domo, this was Domo's title to lose, basically. Well, what the way I say, regardless who was in it. If Chris was in it or anybody, this was Domo's title to lose. And I think that's where it'll be hard for me. I think that's where it'll be hard for me to judge it, just because I don't have no affiliations with anybody, and it'll just be like, this is what I see. I think Solar and Angel, what they're gonna have to do is they're gonna have to lay the judges' rules out to the audience also. So we know, as the audience, we know exactly what the judges are grading by. Because when I heard Jared talking, I'm like, come on, man, you act like you had beef with this guy 10 years ago. It was personal. It was a personal vendetta. I really didn't like it.
But Trevor, do you feel like I think, in listening to you and Yanga, I think what hurts Domo, he needs to fall back from some of the lives and panels and be a quiet warrior. Like KOT is a quiet warrior. Rio is a quiet warrior. Like they come in, do their job, and they out. And that's sometimes
I don't know about that.
You don't know about that?
I don't know about
Domo's, that. Yeah, Domo's even said it. I've heard him say he that's our personal little quirks. I may feel like he doesn't take losses well. You may feel like this, but like Trevor saying, judges should be, privy to, impervious to that.
What
I'm saying, when you're judging, like I said before, and I agree with what. Well, no, not really. When you come into a debate, the judge should come in completely objective. You should come in like you don't know this person debating and you don't know this subject.
Yeah, but that's
kind of what I'm saying. You can
when you're up on the panel.
Yeah, but I mean, ideally, that's what. Like, I don't want the judges. I don't want to take a L because I'm an ass. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take a L.
The judges should never be on panels. The judges should not be on panels.
Absolutely.
I agree, but at the same time, I'm realistic also. I agree, but I'm being realistic also. So, let's see. Exactly. The live don't turn me up for anticipation for the debates. If anything, it's just babble. I agree, MD. I agree. I totally 100% agree. I think too many panel appearances will hurt you. I think it will hurt you, and that's just a reality. I know y'all don't agree with that, but I think like Rio, he stick and move. You see him every once in a while. KOT, he stick and move. You see him every once in a while. And to me, less is better. I think less is better. You know what I'm saying? I think too much.
Yeah, but I mean, where does that factor in? Where does that factor in the judgment, though?
Well,
but if you're always on a panel cussing and fighting with people, and your humanistic side is gonna give people preconceived notions of you. It's like if last season, okay, if you're always on the panels, oh F Yahweh, when your head judge is Yara, come on, how do you think that judgment is gonna go?
Right there. Thank you, Trevor.
I mean, come on.
Let's just keep it real. It's a reality. There's a lot of politics involved. You know what I'm saying? So, I think the best thing for debaters is not so much. And if you do appear, don't make it personal. Let's keep it. Let's keep it. Debate. But let's not go off into I'm better than you, and I graduated from Berkeley, and nobody, man, fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody want to hear all that fuck shit. I'm just keeping it real. So, like when Rio comes on, he talks about, Shotty, and I'm about debating, and he's out. KOT, you ain't got, I'm going to get you next year, and he's out.
But you almost said the same thing about Rio. You were talking about the preachiness.
No. Okay. That's different. I like Rio. Now, what I'm saying is the preachy.
I think that right there. I think that's what it boils down to. Who you like.
It goes down to the judges too.
I think,
and the more appearances that you come on boohoo and whining, the more judges be like, "Oh, this pussy ass nigga."
Yeah.
I mean,
it's terrible that it's like that.
It's not right. It's reality, though. Yanga, it's reality. It's not rocket science, bro.
It's still jacked up.
Solar and Angel are in a bad position. I don't think the debaters aren't an issue. The debates aren't an issue. Getting correct judges is what's going to be the issue. Did you guys saw what happened at the end of season 3? Where the judges basically put it in Solar's hands, and he literally had to pick Anon over Taz. I mean, it should have never came down to that.
Right.
It should have never. Yeah. But that was a judge. That was the judges basically saying, "I like this guy over this guy. I'm not going to vote either way."
Oh wow.
And I really think they did something. They did something to the integrity of the league then. Like, it was just like, man, your commissioner should never have to should never have to pick the champion. He should never have to pick the champion.
Right.
Never. And I remember Taz even said it. Taz even said it on the stream. Taz was like, "You're Solar's champion." Like, that's what he said.
Damn.
And it put a stigma on Anon. And I kind of think that's why Anon acts the way he does.
Right,
but it's just like, because in the back of his mind, he probably really doesn't think he beat Taz. I think he did, but he probably doesn't believe that he did.
That's a good point.
But I will go back and watch that debate. What debate is that?
Yeah.
That's the championship, season 3 championship.
Yeah, season 3 championship. It was a really good debate, man.
Yeah.
But at the end, the judges did Solar no favors, man. You can hear it. You can hear it in his voice. He was pissed, man. It was just like shit.
Yeah.
It should have never came down to that. That's why. But you know what? That's the beauty of the league, because the league has judges. I always hear I hear the other debate league talking about, oh, this is the big leagues. No, you're not, because all you guys do is debate the Bible. That league over there cannot debate anything outside of the Bible. If any one of them had to come over to SVDL and debate something on politics or something, they get destroyed.
Right.
So that's why I think SVDL could be so great, man, because it has the personalities and stuff like that. But you gotta get the unbiased judges. Like for me, it would be hard for me to judge a Holly debate. because I feel like as the
Why?
debaters, I connect with Holly, so it'd be like, man, I'd be going in there biased already,
Right.
where I'm
Good
just
point.
gonna, you
Good
know.
point.
So it's like it's hard, man. I don't know what the process is, but they got to get it together for season 5 as far as the judging.
Yanga?
Did he
Oh, it's
freeze?
connection. Yeah, I think it's
You said
connection.
what?
Yeah. No,
No,
oh,
I'm
sorry.
good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can hear
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. No, I wasn't really saying anything. I was just listening to what he was saying about judging the Holly debate. But I will say this. I mean, I know that judging is difficult, but SVDL has such good debaters, and they're so diverse and unique in what they bring that I think once you do get the personality out of it to that degree and go into the debate, some of that shit will be crystal clear. Like you were saying, some of the debates are just lost because the judges were leaning towards personality and this and that. But had they gone into it, listening to the debates, listening to what was presented, I think that a lot of them would have been crystal clear. And that is really a big up to the debaters in SVDL because they're almost, everybody has their own little way of doing it. And, I've seen, especially in the playoffs, I saw him bring it out. I really saw him bring it out. A lot of them even surprised me. So, like you said, so the other league, what, they don't have judges?
No. Sutnetter leaves it up to the audience. He'll put a poll on his community wall.
Yeah.
And that's how they. It's not, and he's always the moderator, and so it's not. I guess they say it's the big leagues because the people are more known. But trust me, the debates are not better at all.
Right.
They aren't. Right. Some of the debates are outright terrible when you listen to them because they're only debating the Bible. And again, you can't debate belief. It would be like me having a conversation with Malak and Battle Axe. It would get nowhere.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't see, even though the fact that I tell them, hey dude, here's my preaching license, I could show you. I was ordained preacher for 25 years. So this not like I'm coming into this cold. It's just, what can you show me outside of the Bible? Prove what you're saying outside of it. And they can't. And that's why I be wanting to, and that's the only thing, that's why I like Scheme so much, because Scheme will get on your ass about that.
Yes,
Scheme. That's why that's my only hang up, that Angel says she wanted to get rid of the biblical debates. I don't think she should get rid of them, man, because they're still needed. But I mean, hey, she wants to get rid of them. I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to season 5. I'm just real I'm real interested to see what goes on.
Season 5. I think season 5 is gonna be amped.
Well, Trevor, how do you balance that out? Because I mean, Angel's saying she don't want no Bible debates. I can kind of understand that, but at the same time, Scheme makes the Bible debates exciting. So how do you balance that?
And then what is that going to do to Scheme? Because that's his bread and butter.
That's right. I agree.
That's his bread and butter.
Yeah,
I agree.
You know what though? I think that I honestly think that as long as it's not dominated, like Commissioner Angel, Commissioner Solar seem to be very practical people, reasonable. Okay. I think as long as it isn't dominating the league, then I really don't see them having, especially if the debaters say something, hey, yeah, we really don't want to get rid of all the Bible debates. We just don't want that to be the dominant thing like the so-called other leagues, But the Bible debate, I think it could probably be good, and they would be good. So, yeah, that's just something, one of the things that I do like about SVDL and its commissioners is that they communicate with the debaters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They communicate with us. So I think if the debaters were really down with him, like, nah, we don't have a problem with Bible debates. We just don't want to be the Bible league.
Right.
Then I don't really see them having a problem with it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think go ahead, Trevor.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like even if you look at the playoffs, like Yanga and KOT, what was your guys' title? You guys debated, was Martin Luther King, what was he, helpful or harmful to us? Something to that effect. But you guys got into that realm. So
That's right.
KOT still could put his little Bible stuff in, but that wasn't the meat of it.
That's right. That's right.
Holly and pro black
Right.
politics, to me, had one of the best debates of the playoffs, where they debated about should the death penalty be taken off the table. I'm pro death penalty, but listening to that debate, Holly was starting to turn me at the end.
Yeah.
Like that's signs of a good ass debate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like
Hell yeah.
so I see what Angel what Angel wants to do. The whole Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see what she's trying to do. So and come on, man, this YouTube space is full of Bible debates, man. It is. It's full of Bible debates.
What the league is going to be doing is opening, and that's what it does. It's opening the gates. It's when you have debates like that, that's more inviting. My crowd, I can say, hey, check out the league. I have people now that listen to the league and they're like, man, I'll check out the league. Shouts out to K-Moo and all the people that check me out on live. But yeah, so they got into it just because of the interesting debates, and not even when I'm debating. They're on there like, yo, that one dude and this and that. So I think the league, for its diversity, is going to be one of the things that propels it to the top. And the type of debates are going to bring a different caliber of debater. And when it brings that different caliber of debater, that the only thing it's going to do then is just really get the momentum rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So I see it really headed in a good direction.
My cousin was all in for the Suave and KOT. Was the aliens lead the world or something? Man, he was so ready for that. He was so pissed when I told him it was canceled, man. But it's like,
I was pissed at KOT for accepting that debate.
I think KOT would have got him. You gotta go to KOT's channel. He actually puts up the presentation.
Yeah.
And I believe in that type of stuff. So it's like I could kind of roll with him a little bit. So I think KOT would have Suave probably still would have got him, but because again it would have came down to popularity, I think.
Damn.
And I think the judges would have been more so like, this is Suave's year. Let's not rob him on a technicality like this type stuff. And unfortunately too, I kind of think that's why they ended the league, the season, man, because it was just too much controversy.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was just it began to become way too controversial. Absolutely. I know that was a difficult call, but I honestly think it was the best call. I wouldn't have wanted to, and this is just only my personal opinion. I probably, had I'd won and with all of that shit, I wouldn't have walked away really feeling like the champ though, because I'd have been, like say I'd have won my division and I was at the top and I met Scheme. Would I really felt like, damn, this should have been Domo? Is this da-da-da-da-da-da-da, or somebody could have been vice versa. Damn, this should have been Yanga. It was just a lot of, with mine, I don't contest my loss. I'm going to take it. But I'm just saying it was so much with it that there was, when I win my championships or when I win my wins, I don't want them surrounded in controversy. I want it clear cut and clean. That's why I don't take it, when my less than favorable fan club throws KOT up, that's why I don't take it so personal. One, it wasn't just that, it wasn't no ass whooping. And secondly, he and I we're 1-1.
Oh yeah, y'all tied up.
He has a win, I have a win. Yeah, we're tied up. So we have the next thing going on. So I like clear wins like that. That is just, it's clear cut. What's going on, MD?
MD, man.
Peace. What's going on? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Man, you put that out in the universe, brother.
Oh, I'm just chilling, man. Hey, like I said, I if I had time for it, maybe I'll try to dabble into it, but I ain't really got the time to do it. Yeah, like
Damn,
I say,
MD.
that's a lot. It take a lot of work, man, to go into research and doing.
Yeah,
I
8
ain't got
debates.
I ain't got time for that, man.
God dang, there go my dream match.
Yes, it
I'm
do take a
thinking
lot of work.
Rio
That's
and
true.
MD.
What, you in the
Rio
cockpit
versus
of an
MD,
airplane or
man.
something, brother? What,
Shit.
you fly planes?
No, bro. I'm a truck driver. I'm a truck driver, man.
Well, let me just ask you anyway, MD.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, like you and
I wish
Rio.
I was in the airplane.
You're right. Yeah, I told him look like a Starship Enterprise in his truck, boy. Hey.
Nah, it's all good.
But MD, man, one of my dream matches, I just
Well,
thought about that. I was like, damn, you and Rio, boy, that'd be a fire debate, boy.
I mean, yeah, I watched a
yes.
few debates here and there this season. Real talk, I really stopped watching SVDL like season 2. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
okay.
Just
You a vet.
I couldn't get into the like I said, the live just turned me off, man. It
Yeah.
got me to a point where I wasn't interested in the debates at all. You know what I mean? Because it's just a whole bunch of babble going on. I ain't trying to hear all that. And then you had other people came in that
Yeah.
like Taz and all. Man, I really wasn't trying to hear that. So I
Right.
just left it to it altogether. So yeah, I mean but yeah, I watched a few debates this season here and there. You know
Right.
what I mean?
So MD, let me ask you a
Yeah.
question, because like I said, I love the league. Do you think like the biggest detriment to the league, and ain't no shot to Suave, man, because I if it wasn't for Suave, I wouldn't have been a fan of the league. But do you think the biggest detriment to the league was the argument league, because
Yeah, pretty much.
people
Pretty much.
couldn't separate, because when people hear the argument league, SVDL, they always associate it with
Right.
SVDL. So if when you tune into the argument league and you hear dudes arguing and bickering for 10 hours, you're like, man, I don't want to now sit down and listen to no debate. Like, what the hell y'all going to
Right.
debate about?
Yeah, for
I
me,
think,
man, for me, I lost context in what the debate topic was really about. Listening to the live, you know what I mean? It kind of obscured the context, so to speak, in terms of us, the listener. That's just my opinion. Because I mean, you had to rummage through the babble to try to find out what the context was in
Right.
in opposing forces of viewpoint. You know what I mean? So I mean, I tried to okay, I ain't gonna mess with the argument league. I'm gonna just listen to the debate. But if you did that, you really didn't have any context, because
yeah, you didn't have no context.
it was no like brainstorming type or pre-debate type show that you could really listen to and delve into the viewpoint. That was my issue. I think Solar should have took more control and given context to the debate prior to the debate. And he let the argument league do that, and the argument league didn't do a good job. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think Solar should have handled that and moderated that portion for himself, so everybody can have context who was listening to the debate. The argument league, nah, because you got to rummage through too much trash to do it.
I think that's what his Zombie Nation is for, though. I think because Solar got this Zombie Nation thing, I think that's what they're going to be doing over there. But he definitely need a hangout spot for just the debaters, like that he moderates, though. Not let them, not leave them up to their own devices, because
no free fall.
I've heard some lives on there, and I'm just like, man, if I saw some of y'all in person, I'd kill y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
you know what I mean?
you can't talk to adults that type of way.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
And
man.
then I'm
Yeah.
supposed to respect you in the debate? Come on, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my issue with the SVDL. Like I said, it was a cool concept, and I even with all that, you still gotta agree, like it's the best debate platform on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Like you still gotta agree
Hands
with
down.
that.
Hands down.
I think it needs a
Hands
little bit
down.
more.
Hands down.
It needs a little bit more stability as far as like what's what, and as far as like a platform for the debaters. I think that, and I put in the chat, I put divisions.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
So what I would do, I would break the debates down in divisions. So that doesn't necessarily mean that one debater would be tied to one division. That no, you could be in whatever division and debate in whatever division you want. I believe it should be a religious division, a political division, a cultural division, and then like a joke or a wild card division, where it'll just be a random topic, because like random topics, they happen sometimes. But for the viewer, it'll let me know, okay, in this division we got such and such, whether it be Islam, Christianity, Hebrew Israelite, whatever. You know what I mean?
I like that.
They can break it down in that form culturally, like I said, whether it be hip hop, black issue, what you know what I mean, whatever. And then you'll have your political stuff. Break it down into a division. At the end of the season, you'll have division champions. Them will be your seeds. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you win the division by points, you'll be the leader of that certain division. Like I said, you can have debates throughout the season in whichever division you want. Like I don't want to have the debater tied to a certain division, because he might be a Hebrew Israelite, but he may have social political topics. You know what I mean? But at the end of the season, who's ever leading the points in said division will be the number one seed, and break the playoffs down in 4 quadrants. That's how I would do it. So you'll have a number one seed in each quadrant, and then like break down the seeds from there. Then you'll have your quarterfinals, you'll have your semis and your finals, just like a regular playoff. But that's how I would do it. And also I would say, I think he needs to expand the judges. So like in baseball, you have different refs and umpires coming from various parts of the country, doing umpire games in a different part. That way it's no judgment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I would do it. I think he needs to expand the judgment system. He needs to get more people. And
so you saying,
but those judges will be tied. Go ahead.
So you're saying something like, if he's having a biblical debate, don't have no Hebrew judges.
You'll have the political judges judging the Hebrew debate. The judges need to be the ones tied. The judges need to be the ones tied to the division, not to debate. So you'll have four sets of judges in each division, and they'll take turns rotating in different divisions, judge. You know what I'm saying? Now it might come a time where the Hebrews will be judging in the religious division. You may have those times, but they'll keep a steady rotation of judges.
Okay.
The political judges will be in the cultural division one night. The religious judges will be in the wild card one night. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would do it. That way you got no bias throughout the whole course of the season.
Hey, y'all need to send this video to Solar.
Yanga,
we'll talk to the commissioner too.
you need to reach out to him. Let him know. Hey, speaking of debates though, because I know lately we've been talking about the Mississippi project and what does Anon call it, the Garden of Eden thing? So so Yanga, you were on a panel with Solar a couple of days ago, and this is why I said I wanted to talk to you about, because it's fine that we all talking about old, getting together and doing all the great things, kumbaya, but I always bring it back to this. Even when I'm doing my shows, I always bring it back to this. What's the biggest problem holding our community back right now? And I'll go ahead and answer it for you. It's the divide between the black man and the black woman. So as I'm listening to the show, Solar asked you a question, and your response it didn't bother me. I mean, because I know you're gonna say what you're gonna say, but it shocked me more than anything, because he asked you, like, do you feel like black women are like, do black men disrespect their women more than any other race? And now correct me if I'm wrong, but you said no, you don't feel that way. How could you not feel that way? Listen, I listen to all type of music, and I know Black Sun does too. I have never heard in rock and roll I've never heard in any other genre of music where they denigrate their women and call them bitches and hoes like we do. We tear our women. We tear our women down so much. Oh, go ahead. You there, Yanga?
Is it delay?
Yeah, I think Yanga got a delay.
Yeah, you got a little delay. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see? Yeah, I got a little delay.
Okay.
I agree. I mean, I agree with us tearing our women down. Do I feel like that we disrespect our women more than any other people? No. Do I feel like that we disrespect our women more than those Arabs and everything he used disrespect their women? No. I absolutely.
Damn, he's breaking up.
Damn, I wanted to hear this, man.
Yeah, I want to hear this too, man. Shit.
I want to hear this.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about, can you guys hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
So I believe that, unfortunately, I do believe we live in a culture. The black man and woman here in America live in a culture that is just so debased and so low that we've accepted as normal, that we've normalized it, that a lot of things that should be super offensive aren't as offensive. The nigger word, the bitch word, that's one. I think that it's a learned behavior. But when you look largely at what's ingrained in the Arabs culture, what's ingrained in the Latino culture as machismo, that they will murder their women for perceived disrespect. In Arab cultures, they'll murder their women for being. And since it happens, since it's endorsed largely by the state and the people, it isn't promoted or it isn't put out there like ours are, because their state endorses that. So what I'm saying is, the way they treat their women, when you really study their culture, like in, I said, Latino culture, they got some shit called machismo. Have you guys ever heard of machismo?
Yeah.
They will fuck their women up. So their women are already subservient. Their women are already to a degree docile and suppressed. Our women, what you see is fighting. You see people who have been oppressed, trying to make the best out of a degenerate culture. When you see us calling them bitches and hoes and women calling themselves bitches and hoes, you're looking at commercialism. You're looking at that they're selling, like I heard a woman say, well, men objectify us. And, so now I'm taking control of my sexuality and I'm selling my own sexuality. With that when you hear Megan Thee Stallion them talking about wet ass pussy and stuff like that. So, a nation can rise no higher than its women. I'm not saying that what we do to our women is right, but what I'm saying, whole scale embedded in our culture, no. Because really embedded deeply in our culture, the black man and woman here, whole scale, live under a matriarch. Big mama run shit. The women run thing in the black community. In their cultures, women don't run anything. What do you mean? You don't believe women run things in the black community?
No. I think that's the problem. I should say that. I think that's the problem. No, I'll let you finish, but I want to hear everything you got to say.
No.
The problem
why do you think that that's the problem?
The problem is that we are in a matriarchal society because all the men are dying. So if you look in the black community, you'll see great grandmothers, grandmothers. You rarely ever see grandpa, because grandpa worked his ass off and he ended up dying and left the women, and then left the women to run the families. And now these women have to now take on a role that they never were designed to be in. It's not because they're so strong and everything. They had to evolve. They had to evolve and be in a position. So okay, so let me ask you a question. So let me say this. I forget which verse it is, But in the Bible, I'm going to that Bible, Black Son.
Oh, you good?
God asked Adam a question. He says, Adam, where art thou? He didn't ask Eve where she was. And I already told Black Son, to me, the Bible is a book of allegory. I believe in a Most High Creator, but I just use the Bible as another method for me to teach and get a point across. God asked Adam, where is he? He asked Adam where he was, meaning that Adam wasn't in the place that he needed to be in. And that's how I see it in the Black community. We talk about all this moving and let's pool our dollars together and let's live in this utopia. Let's do this and let's do that. But until the Black man gets back in his rightful position, we aren't doing shit. We aren't Go ahead.
No. You're making good points. Go ahead, please.
Our community, regardless of how it's portrayed, is only as strong as our men. When you cut off a group's ability to reproduce, you destroy that group. Our men are being put in the prison systems. Our men are gay and they're getting killed. So that's why the women are leading. They ain't got no choice. So you got Big Mama. You got Big Mama saying, you know what? I don't want to go date outside my race, so I might as well just lead this family myself. And that's the problem.
I'm gonna agree with some of it. I'm gonna disagree with majority of it though. I agree with the part of men stepping up, taking their place. What I would like to know is what you're using as a standard of manhood. We have to wait because we don't battle just white supremacy. We battle white male supremacy. The white man introduced a very dominant patriarchal system into the African way of thinking. They got rid of the great mothers. Women have always ran things. Women have always been the core of our civilization, all the way back to hunter-gatherers. When we were out there hunting, the women were learning. The women are the first ones to come up with communication. They had to learn to communicate what herbs to eat, what was medicine, what not, and things of this nature. What ends up happening is when men come over here and we hold the white man's standard as manhood, we understand that you're always going to fall short of that. The white man says that you must make this, you must possess that, you must be in this category to be classified as a man, and intentionally hold you back from making that much, doing that thing. What Black men have to do is redefine what manhood means for the Black community, not what white people say. And I think when we redefine what manhood means for the Black community, we will begin to step up and take our proper role. We'll stop trying to suppress our women. We'll allow our women to form their natural functions, and we will form our natural functions around our women and doing the things that are natural for men to do. But right now, I think our biggest problem is we try to suppress our women and we fucking the bottom of the totem. How you come and try to be the dominant authority and you can't even control yourself, let alone your livelihood. And so not only are you physically incapable, but then you come with the mental attitude and frustration and begin to take that out on your woman as if she has some hand in keeping you or fighting you like you don't see the struggle that she's fighting. I think as Black people, we have to be careful not to divide our struggle as a man and woman struggle, but as a Black struggle. Ours is unique and our relationships are unique based on our social economic conditions and our culture. You know, I think our trying to emulate their culture has been one of our biggest downfalls in the Black community.
Do you see? Oh, anybody else want to say something? Jump in. But do you see it? Do you see it as us trying to suppress our women, or our women being sold an image of the Europeans that we can't possibly maintain for them? So now it's like, I don't need you anymore. Or I had a conversation with a young lady the other day, and she told me she said, you know, Trevor, she said, I don't need a man for anything. I make X amount of dollars. I have this license. I have this license. I have this license. And I asked her a question. I'm like, who put that in your head? Like,
right.
Like who put that in your head that your money, that you make defines you. You guys spend so much time telling us that that y'all don't need us, and then when you need us for protection, you wonder why we're not there. And this is not me, because I love my wife, so I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking in general, because a lot of times men get dumped on so much, especially black men, about not being there and not doing this and not doing that, because they spend so much time telling us we're inadequate. That's not coming from outside. That's coming from right inside the house. So me personally, I don't think we're gonna be able to accomplish shit until we first fix that problem, that we take back our communities, that we start back loving our black women and taking care of our kids and doing shit like that. Until then, everything is a pipe dream. If I go to Africa, we're gonna be doing the same shit. We're gonna be doing the same shit. I feel like if we go to Mississippi, we're gonna be doing the same shit until we get on the same page. It ain't gonna work. And that's the biggest trick of the devil, is dividing the black man and the black woman. And there is absolutely a divide.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that. But I don't feel like that we still treat our women the worst. I think we will begin to if we try to fit them into a mold. You know, you was going out on some of the things you said, so I may be repeating some of what you said. But I definitely think, I know it's connection. If we try to fit them in a mold, I definitely think that we will borderline suppressing them. But I agree with you. Until we repair and mend it. Now, I caught some of what you were saying about the women. The sister was telling you how she didn't need a man. You know, and that's a jacked up mentality, but that goes into the same. But that philosophy is, I heard, and that's why I said, man, it broke up. But you were saying the sister was saying she didn't need a man, and you was asking her where she got that from, right?
Yeah. But
and what did she say?
Well, no, she never told me where she got it from. I told her that she got that from our oppressor, basically. that they pretty much say, I'll give you this, and this, so you don't need to depend on the black man. That's basically what they're doing. So, because black women are more educated, I give them that. Black women make more money. It's crazy that the person put on this earth to help us basically dominates us in everything. You ever think about that?
Well, it's been designed to do that. It's this system. That's what I talk about, this system. I'm always talking about this system. It's this system and materialism. It's told them that is the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate measure of success, what you possess. And the more you possess, the bigger you possess, and the louder and the shinier you possess, the more successful you are. And
let me ask you a question, Yanga.
Yes, sir.
Oh, why do you think the system decided to choose the black woman over the black man?
Why do I think the system decided that? That is. I think it's to this. I think if anything, when you want to keep people down, the first thing you do is destabilize the family. You destabilize
but why
the
one
family.
over the other was what I'm asking.
You change the structure of the family. And so what? You say what?
I said, why one over the other?
They felt like, I believe, they felt like the woman, one, was more docile. And then if you take the security from the woman, which is the man, which they're still doing today, when you demasculate the man, you upset the balance of a natural order. You take a protector. When these police, like now they're doing it to our children. When these police kill us in front of our kids and our children are seeing that, and they're looking to their parents, they're looking to us, we're ultimately the ones that's supposed to be able to protect them. They want to know why these Trayvon Martins are dying, why that man could kill George. What good am I as a dad? You know what I'm saying? Where's the protection? So I believe that extended to that. I believe the system, especially when you talk about a system, it's not anything that pops up overnight. So I believe that was worked into it. That was a part of it. Let's demasculate the man. Let's strike terror and traumatize the black family. Let's disrupt them. Let's take their children. Let's take their children. And not only did we take them from where they're from and disconnect them from that portion of their family, let's further disconnect their bloodlines by taking their children right out of their hands and sending them somewhere else. Let them know. And the woman being looked at as inferior and docile, like the white man has been known to do, underestimated our black woman. And our black woman began to evolve into what she had to be evolved. It had to evolve to ensure survival, not just for her, but for her family and her people. So I think that not only was it designed, but it was a natural evolution too, based on the conditions we lived under. So I said all that to say, so when you got a people that have been completely oppressed and deprived, and you say the highest form of success or salvation is materialism. Even your heaven got streets of gold and got mansions and shit. Everything is materialism. Yeah, your soul, your body, your children, everything will have a price on it at that point. You know, and that's what we're looking at. And men can't keep up with that. So if that is the definition of success, if a woman is saying, well, a man has to have this and that and this and that to be considered a man, then you can forget about it. So the self-determinist has to say, hey, listen, that's not considered a man in our community. A man comes home to his children. I don't care if daddy get off that trash truck. Man come home to his children. He does da-da-da-da-da-da. We have to redefine what manhood is.
Yeah, but I mean, I hear the different I hear the back and forth, but I mean, now let me ask you this, Trevor. Does every woman fit into that category?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Right. So I tell my sons this, you know, and you know, and I know Yanga ain't gonna agree with me, but me, I look at myself as an Archie Bunker. And as an Archie Bunker, I gotta find an Edith. Somebody that matches my personality. And I think a lot of these women, they think in their mind, they think in their alpha women. Well, the term alpha means the first prototype. So the alpha woman is the Edith, not the damn woman like, oh, I'm in charge, beating my chest. That's the beta female. That's why now you got the beta male. So you got different types. It's just like sororities. You got different types of women and different type of men. And I think these men and women need to find each other, because a lot of times, you know, I tell my son, man, you be looking for that certain type of woman, and then this other woman's right here, and you're still looking at that other type of woman. So I think, Trevor, you were lucky, you were fortunate finding the type of woman that was right for you. But I think a lot of men and women are chasing somebody that's not right for them, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a relationship expert, so I don't want to get too deep into
but
that.
let me ask you this. So
okay.
So admittedly, we know that it's not every woman, but what if it's 20% of them? Now that woman now passes on this same way of thinking to her daughter. Now her daughter now passes that on to her daughter, and now you have a never-ending cycle. So you can never just look at it as what's going on now. We have to look at the bigger. We have to look at the bigger picture of things and how it will affect us in the future. And it's just alarming that a lot of these women, they'll reach the pinnacle, and now all of a sudden they don't need a man anymore. No more. Okay, let's bring it closer to home.
Okay,
they don't need a black man anymore.
That's
and again, this is me talking. I don't have this problem. So this is just me. You know, I do a podcast, and this is what I talk about all the time. This type of stuff, and it's like, when do we come together as a people and say, you know what, I'm not going to give my seed. And I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm against interracial dating. I just am. I'm not going to give my seed to the other races. I'm not. And because to me, it's all about nation building. And when I think of nation building, that's the Black community. And that's, I mean, that's just how I am, you know. I'm not a racist or anything, but I care about my people. Like that's what I care about. And I'd like to see the Black race continue.
Yes.
I think MD has some.
So how do you answer? What's your answer to a sister that says that?
You know, y'all, you remember the first time I came on this show, what I said to you guys, that you guys are much smarter than me. So I have a I have a friend that's a therapist, and I always defer these type of questions to her when we're doing the show. So there really is no solution. There really is no solution. There's not. I mean, I'm just and the only reason I even brought this up is because we're talking about the Mississippi movement. We're talking about the Back to Africa. We're talking about all these great things, but I'm like, did any of us stop to think, like, hell, some of these women already don't want us. What makes you think that they're going to want to be involved with any one of these projects?
Well, I'll say this to that. I say, and to be honest, my opinion, socioeconomically, we not in a position to build the Black community. You know what I mean? Like we just ain't. When we go back and look at our ancestors coming back up in the earlier 21st century, they had the means of maintaining a family. You know what I'm saying? Whether you agree with it being a projection of what the white man was doing or not, they still had the means to do it. You know what I mean? It was probably a very obscure way that they were doing it, because we weren't building the wealth that the white people were building at that time, but we were making a pretty good living for ourselves.
Right.
So socioeconomically today in 2022, like that ain't the case.
Right.
Like I like you were talking about the men in the community, man, we've been depleted, whether it be through drugs, self deletion as far as killing each other, like interracial relationship. Hell, that's another way we've been destroyed. It don't matter what the situation was, we don't have the means to maintain those families like we did back then. You know what I mean? And that's when that's when you look at.
You know what though?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry, I have a delay, so I thought you were done. No, please finish.
Oh no, so just to clear the point up, like that's where the Mississippi campaign comes into play. Like none of this, and like I said, this is just my opinion. None of this is going to change until we get the wealth in the community. None of it, because at that point, like you talked about the Bible. The Bible also says money is the root of all evil, and
the love of money.
The love of money.
Is that what it says?
The love of money.
Yeah, so, love of money. White men been tricking us on that for years. Money, no love of money. So we don't want no money.
So I take that in a different light though. I take that, if it's saying the love of money, I think it's saying that we love it to where we obstruct ourselves to the point because we ain't got it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I take that passage. So back to my point, that's where the Mississippi campaign comes into play. We talking about an operation that's going to build Black people wealth. And then from there, all the dominoes going to fall into place. Because at that point, the problems that we have currently right now in 2022 are no more. Dudes is getting killed off go ahead. No, I want to hear you. Go ahead.
You said something which I agree with. You know me, I agree with some and disagree with others a little bit more. I agree with, like you said, at back then you looked at wealth and us taking care of our families and the way in which we did it. However, I think our Black nationalism was a lot more stauncher. What we see today, especially after 1965 and so on and so forth, with the integrationists or the civil rights movement, the integrationist movement, we see.
Damn, he's breaking up.
Damn,
Yeah.
Yanga, come back.
Yeah,
Come
I wanted
back.
to hear that too, man. Shit.
Yeah, come back, man.
The dependency on.
He must be moving around.
Was contained in our community. We had the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Am I coming in and out?
Yeah, you coming in. Are you moving around?
Am I coming in and out?
Yeah, are you moving around?
No, you get.
No, I'm sitting my ass down now. No.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I was saying, back then, you know, we worked together a lot more collectively. In our neighborhood, we had the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. If nothing, out of pure survival. They didn't do business with us. They didn't deal with us, and it was dangerous for us to deal with them. And we didn't do business with them. 65, in that era, civil rights, integration, assimilation, we lost a lot of collective wealth because they understood nickel pennies. You think the Montgomery bus boycott was about these white folks all of a sudden had a change of heart? They became conscious of humanity? No. We almost bankrupted the bus company. And they realized how much nickel pennies matter. Now, the black nationalists, what the black nationalist self-determinists would have done would have been like, shit, now we need to start our own bus company. Fuck sitting in the front of the bus. We need our own, you know. However, with there again, integration and assimilation, we boycotted and protested and sat at these counters and got our ass kicked. And yes, it made some advancements as far as us being recognized. I will at least say that. However, what it did was sap our economic resources out of community, because now we didn't got our ass to kick to come in here and to spend our money. Ass at your counter so I can come and spend my dollar with you. I just don't understand the sense of it all. You understand? So I think that was a very big part. So yeah, back then we could maintain our families based out of sheer survival. We depended on one another. We relied on one another because we were all we had. It wasn't until the dream of integration and that assimilation for a few roles and upward mobility that we lost collective rhythm, movement, and momentum, especially economically, socially, and shit, and politically. We had more senators and shit back then. We had more black politicians back then. You know, we lost real footing.
Yeah. But Yanga, think about that. Think about what you're saying. Think about how powerful the black community is when they're together. So what happened? What crept in that caused the women to now say, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to start divesting out now. What caused that? Yeah. Because the enemy probably saw that and was like, man, if these niggas together, they could accomplish a lot. Let's go in there and drive a wedge between them now. And that's what I'm saying. That's what it always comes back down to me is we will never get anywhere until we're back together. Like anything we talk about, it's going to always come back to that. It's going to always come back to that.
But, you know, absolutely. However, Trevor, we have to find a system that works, that is agreeable for men and women, black men and women. You know, it has to be. The unfortunate reality is that the black man and woman here in America was separated. I believe in slavery happened, you know, and I believe I have ancestors that are indigenous. So anyway, the unfortunate reality is through that horrible crime of slavery and land appropriation and all of that, there was an African type that was developed. It is the black African here in America. And that makes us unique. So our relationships and how we interrelate and cohabitate community intimately with you and your woman and community-wise has to be unique to our station, position, and situation. And I think a lot of times we try to impose other understandings. Me, I'm second generation Muslim. When I was deep into the religion, man, I can't tell you how many. I had two children by two wives that quickly. Like, and I didn't even really know these sisters except through the religion. It didn't work for us because I was trying to impose, sister, don't speak. What problem? Allah says no, sister. This is a black woman. She ain't trying none of that. She gonna speak. She's going to talk. Or come in with thinking, the man's supposed to be the provider, it may take, but let's be real, we got X amount of kids, we're living this, it may take two incomes. We both may have to work. So what I'm saying is, you're right. But you have some people though, Trevor, that are very romantic, that are very, that's their definition of it. We got to listen to Steve Harvey. Shit, he's one of you provide. If this man can't provide for you and do for you,
I don't listen to him.
Yeah, you got this type of silly rhetoric going on. So what I'm saying is, first recognizing you and your woman, recognizing, you know what, baby, we Black Africans in America, we are so super unique. I'm not going to impose no Nigerian, no Arab, no this culture, that culture. We are super freaking unique. And we have to have an understanding in our situation that is as unique as us, that addresses the morals, the ethics, the children, the everything, but addresses it in our social, cultural understanding. I think one of our biggest problems is, and what affects our relationships, and I'm be silent at this, is our failure to embrace our reality, and we practice escapism, and we want to be everybody but who and what we are. And we want to live in these situations, or say we're going to create these situations, and we're not even trying to build these situations based on the real material and issues that we have right now. We just somehow magically think we're going to be healed. We're psychologically damaged. Mental health's a real issue in our community. So there's a lot of things that have to be addressed that are unique to us based on our experiences.
Well, let me take a stab at this, man. Because the Mississippi campaign has been brought up, and I think, and what I was, shout out to Angel Snuffed Up. I was telling Angel that because now it's been put out there that if you don't work, you don't eat. That's the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, they want to hear a utopia. Like, because the Bible sells a utopia and the Quran sells a utopia. When they talk about Adam and Eve, and this is what I want to talk about earlier. When the Bible talks about Adam and Eve and they walking around the garden naked, two things. It's a utopia and they're not working. And so when people grow up in the church and they actually foresee this in Black land. Black land is supposed to look like the Garden of Eden. And I think that's what throws a lot of people off. You know what I'm saying? Now, my sister, she told me that stuff like the Mississippi campaign, we've had those many times and we can do it again. We had Rosewood, we had Black Wall Street. We've had all these prominent cities. That's why the Mississippi campaign makes sense. But now this is after the age of Malcolm X, after the age of the Black Panther parties, the party of self-defense, because for some reason, all those cities were systematically taken out, and even with the assistance of the government. But now we live in a different age. I say build up Mississippi campaign and then have, I don't know,
a political footprint.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So
that's the difference between Wilmington, Rosewood,
okay,
Tulsa, Oklahoma, all of that. That's the difference.
What I see, my only thing is I'm trying to understand the political, because we got a Black independent political party now, the Mahalia party. We had, back in the day, we had inbuilt. We had a Black independent political party. When you say a political footprint, then we have Democrats and Republicans amongst the Black population. So when you say a political footprint, what is that?
Those organizations, when you say an independent, I'm not speaking of an independent Black party. Like I told you the other day, I'm well aware that we must establish a footprint moving in a political place where the white man is as well. I don't want to separate my political position from the white man's political position. I don't. And like I said, we can get into that another time. But I believe, like I told you, as freedmen in this country, we have every right to move politically just like the white man is. What we have to do is establish that footprint. What does that mean, establishing that footprint? Going back to the precedents of emancipation and make sure we gatekeep those precedents that weren't gatekept before. That's my issue. We don't have to establish an independent black party. We don't have to do that. We have to go back to the foundation and establish those precedents. That's the importance.
Such as, I mean, such as, give me an example.
I mean,
when you say establish those precedents, what do you mean?
I'm talking about the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. I'm talking about Freedmen's Bank. I'm talking about Special Field Order 15. I'm talking about everything that was supposed to be given to us after emancipation.
Okay. So you believe even if received that we could find a footing within the current system, within the American system?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
I believe
so. MD,
let me 100%. Go ahead.
Let me ask you, because this is what I wanted to hear. So, okay, because I always envisioned where black people could just have their own place independent of white people. So it sounds like what you're saying, you want to have your own place, but you still gel with white people. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not asking no white man to move nowhere else.
Okay, so now my next question would be, what's different than what we already have?
Right.
Well, the difference is so. And like I said, I ain't the spokesman of Mississippi. I wish Talik was here, but he ain't. But so I give you my vision of what I believe the Mississippi campaign to be. So again, the whole basis of Operation Exodus Mississippi is to establish a political majority, right? So it'll only take, for the state of Mississippi alone, it'll only take maybe about 10 to 15%, maybe even less, for blacks living in other regions to expatriate back to the state of Mississippi. It'll only take 30% for other blacks living in other regions to expatriate down south, period, to have a majority in the South. The point is to establish the majority. Now, before we can do all of that, we have to have political literacy and be on one accord. We all, like, I'm not saying that we don't. Right. So, that'll be the first step. Yeah, that'll be the first step. So the only point that we say Mississippi, the only reason Mississippi is in the name is because of the majority that we can have with so little of a number going back. You know what I'm saying? If it was another state, it'll be Operation whatever state, you know what I mean? But Mississippi so happens to be the state that's currently right now 45%.
So let me ask you this. So it's really dependent on, because you're talking about the political majority. So it's really dependent on if everybody, the people that make that mass migration, agree politically. Because it'd be pointless for all of us to move.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, that's first and foremost.
So that's almost like what Brother Anon preached, that you have to believe. So it's really based on, you have to find all the people that believe in that way that you want to express your lifestyle through your politics. Everybody has to believe that way, though, kind of, right?
I wouldn't say that. It's not expressing your belief. It's establishing what was already there.
Right, but
that's all.
But I mean, you're talking about.
We don't even agree on that.
Go ahead. I want to hear what Son had to say. You were saying something, Black Son?
No, the difference between what Angel wants and what Anon wants. Anon said he wants a theocracy. Angel says no. We don't want no theocracy here. You know what I'm saying? We want a state. it's not the same as what basically A9 is saying. A9 is saying, look, if you're not like what Blue say, if you gonna be a Hebrew, and what Blue said, you gonna lay down and you gonna stay down. That's basically what it is, man. So that.
Well, I mean, you don't think it's similar in the fact that you have to believe a certain way, like
what way
if you know, take it or leave it. You have to believe in order to get a political majority.
You breaking up?
Sorry, go ahead, brother.
No, I was just saying what.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to figure out what belief that we're trying to be on one accord with, because there's no belief involved. Like,
right.
The only thing we're saying is us as freedmen, this who we are supposed to be based off of the precedents of what took place after emancipation. Like we didn't write
absolutely.
it. We didn't write it.
They wrote it.
It's no opinion about it. This is what it's supposed to be. That's what we're coming on one accord with.
Now, on that part, we're in agreement, but we're talking about the direction. Okay, after we get all of that, we're in Mississippi, because like Trevor asked, what's the difference between them, Mississippi, and anywhere else black folk are?
I'm glad you just said that. I'm glad you just said that. You said after we get all of this, what are we doing? You could do whatever the hell you want to do, because at that point, the mission is complete. At that point, you have the wealth to decide your own destiny. Right. So I don't care what you do.
How are we having the
wealth?
How are we building wealth? How are we building the wealth?
We'll be building the wealth through the reparations plan. That's going to be the beacon for every other state in this union. Once we build the reparations plan is revelation, end of the book. Once we got that set up,
what do you? You think that's the be all? The reparations is the be all, but you give it right back to the system. Where's the betterment?
If that's what you choose to do, I'm an American citizen. If that's what you choose to do, so be it.
Got you.
That's not political. That's socio-economic. That's culture. Now, if you want to stand on a political movement, we'll move as a political unit with the wealth that we have now accrued. And we are blocked now. It's no stopping. But that's up to you to do that. The mission of the Mississippi campaign is not that. The mission of the Mississippi campaign is to build the wealth to the people that's been forgotten in this country. That's the mission.
Right. So
once we get that wealth, you can smoke it up. I don't care what you do. That's on you.
Yeah. So let's go back to the initial thing. We can talk about that. That's a whole nother discussion. That's interesting. But initially, so the thing is to get enough black people down there as a political majority to vote to bring in set the president, and the president would be to bring in these get the reparations, the Freedom Bureau, to get these things that were set in place after emancipation.
Correct.
It's not a bad plan.
Now check this out.
Now we might disagree what we do. We might disagree what we do with getting the reparations, but that part initially stepping up to it isn't a bad plan.
Now check this out.
No. Nobody's not going to interfere with you getting your reparations, Yanga. Wait, whoa. You've been with
No. That's not what I said. Like, I still disagree with the system. I still disagree with the system. Reparations is just one part, but I still disagree with getting your reparation if you don't create a system because to me, it isn't about individualism. It isn't about your personal upward mobility.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. You're talking about an egalitarian society. It's either egalitarian or freedom. Okay, but you got some black people that want freedom. They don't want to be.
But why isn't egalitarianism freedom? Why isn't egalitarianism freedom?
Because
why isn't egalitarianism freedom? What is egalitarianism? First, you need to explain to our listeners what egalitarianism is. So why isn't that freedom? So you want freedom at the expense of you want? Go ahead.
No. Egalitarianism is everybody equal in the same playing field as far as like payment. Let's just say, okay, somebody may say that's socialism. Hold on, Hold on, because some people think that way. A lot of black people agree with
But that's
capitalism.
not egalitarianism.
No,
Yeah,
but black people can say that's freedom though. There's some people can say that egalitarianism is what Russia was thriving for, what a lot of systems thrive for through socialism, and they consider that an equal playing field, but that don't work for a lot of people, and that probably won't work.
Son, they could say, a lot of people say anything. You know what I'm saying? What we're talking about, like me, my philosophy is communalism. I'm not an individualist. That's the first thing we have to understand.
Everybody may not share that though. Yeah, you know you have black capitalists out here, black nationalists.
Everybody doesn't share everything. Everybody doesn't share the view of capitalism. Hell, the feds just raided Chairman Omali Yesateli, the All African People's Revolutionary Party, staunch socialist. I mean, so everybody doesn't agree with capitalism. What we're saying is those of us that are communalists are saying that if a system, especially your people, if a system isn't inclusive of your people, if a system is intentionally targeting your people from prosperity and success, from opportunities, then we as a people should collectively fight against that. We're too quick to forget our own. We're too quick to all of a sudden get in it. We're the only people.
But I think what you're saying here is you're putting them at a monolith. Now, for those people that believe that, I say for those people, no, listen to what I'm saying. I think the people that are on that mindset should fight for that. There's a group of people that don't agree with that believe in individualism. That is benefiting
absolutely, but
black people have shown
absolutely, but that's the enemy.
No,
that's the enemy.
I agree. I just
individualism the enemy.
Okay,
individualism is the enemy
because black people, and I'm going to show this on the show tomorrow, have done capitalism better than white folks. Those cities I just mentioned, they have thrived. They out exceeded white people. You know what I'm saying? I think the downfall of those cities was like we didn't have self-defense, but
when the downfall of those cities, when you look at, and I bet you every city that you bring up, I bet you is pre-civil rights. I bet you it'll be pre-civil rights.
I agree.
I'm willing to put money on that. So every city you bring, so that's not individualism. You will look at a collective communal mind state. Even though they're practicing capitalism,
it was capitalism within the sense, though.
Right.
The issue was,
and even now, that's why I say capitalism the way that America practices it. Even now, in America, before a totally, like, I'm an African socialist, so I'm not a European socialist. But even now, before getting your government, before getting the state to acknowledge the rights of the human beings to a decent standard of living, before we even get to that part of revolution, we would have to practice a form of communalism, something like co-ops. We're still going to be in a capitalist system, but the store should be owned by the community. Why would the community own that store?
I'll tell you why. Because people who have been through it, like Zimbabwe, will disagree with you. People in Nigeria that went through it will disagree with you. Cameroon, these are all African socialist countries, and they didn't agree.
Exactly. Trying to implement what?
It wasn't until no. Listen, it's socialism. I'm talking about socialism. Several countries
trying to and look at their socialism. Was it African socialism or the Marxist Leninist? European socialism is never going to, especially on the continent of Africa. But I tell you where it did work. Look at China. Look at Cuba. Look at you can look at
those aren't good examples. Those aren't good examples.
Why aren't they good examples of a form of socialism? China finally woke the fuck up, left Marxist Leninism, and understood that that's.
Yeah, but look how many people Mao Zedong had to kill to get to that, man. That's not a good example.
You know why? Exactly. You know why? Listen to me. You know why? Listen here. Let me give you a history lesson. Mao Zedong. Okay, because he embraced Marxist Lenin. So who did he fight? He fought the Chinese nationalists. So he killed Chinese nationalists. And then when his ass realized that European socialism doesn't work, who did he go embrace? The Chinese nationalists to rebuild China. So what I'm saying is
to fight the Japanese. So he was it's just like when Stalin It's like when Stalin. Oh, I'm sorry. When Stalin used us to help defeat Hitler, that was Stalin's war. So it's the same thing. It's just the rule of the war. So
the same
now,
with the Sino-Russian war, the same thing.
Right.
With the Japanese,
but here's the difference. When in the rebuilding of China, after the War of Japan, after him and the nationalists came together and they fought Japan, and then he went and wiped out the nationalists. And China became socialist, Marxist-Lenin socialist. And he depleted China. He damn near killed China. He took all the peasants out the field, brought them into the industries. He followed that Marxist-Lenin shit. He did away with all Chinese culture and shit like that. And when he almost depleted his people, because Mao was craziest too, what did he do? He embraced the nationalists and lined up all his fucking socialist commanders and shot them. So what I'm saying is this. He understood that even the collective power of the people based on a social cultural understanding, because Marxist Lenin is just collective power of the people absent social cultural understanding. That's why that'll never work for us. That's what NKrumah understood.
Hold on, before we get too far into that, again, you talk about upward mobility. There's plenty of black people who are heading that direction under capitalism.
It's disproportionate. It's disproportionate to the number of black people in America, though, son. That's what I'm telling you. What that is it's easier to do. It would be easier for people like you and I of a certain caliber that maybe of a certain education or whatever, just to say screw the whole black race and go for what we know. And we could be those token Negroes. We could be those Negroes that they point to and say, look, there's your upward mobility. But when you talk about collectively, when you talk about the blatant discrimination, when you talk about systemic racism, when you talk about a people intentionally being targeted for better living, for a decent living standard, that has to be fought against.
Go ahead, MD, because I was going to.
I was just going to say that may be possible politically, but it's not culturally. We're all different. We came out of emancipation with our ass in the air. We didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? So we had to follow what we saw as the system. You know what I mean? So when you're talking about bring and you mentioned co-op. I'm glad you mentioned co-op. All throughout this country. And I guess you could say that's a form of socialism, but they got the funds from the American government all throughout this country. You got fields and fields with co-ops. These people, this is, remember we were talking about the Homestead Act. Right. These people got this land and these resources through the Homestead Act. They got co-op, millions of dollars in gas that they use in co-op gas stations, where me and you can't go in. But their tractors, their dump truck, their equipment, all gas up in these co-op stations.
Yep.
So they didn't build that from culture. They built that from being given something that black people simply didn't get.
I'm gonna tell you why I say that that's social cultural also, and why it has to be. First, let me say this about social. We are a diverse people. We're not a monolithic people. Praise the Creator for that, because from this diversity, we can draw many wonderful things to aid to this culture of the Black African here in America. But one thing we do have social culture that we understand, and that's that we're targeted. Everybody saw George. There's no black person in America that won't tell you that we're not discriminated against and that we're targeted. That when you look at the statistics, we're pulled over more, we're discriminated against more, we're harassed more. I mean, it is blatant that there's a war against Black America. So socially, culturally, so what we have is the basic human instinct, self-preservation. Negro, we need to get our heads examined if we can't come together on our survival. If anybody can't come together on survival, we really need our head examined. And this is where that individualism comes in. They have beat that in us. They taught you. Even the law today says where there's 3 or more, that's a gang. They taught you where too many of you are congregating, they're going to beat your ass. They've taught you you can't work with black people. Black people can't stick together. Crabs in a barrel. Everything to keep us from being collective. And like you were saying, Brother MD, right, those co-ops, listen, we live in capitalist America. You're going to participate in capitalism. The stage now at this stage, before, like I said, before we could even address the state to say, hey, state, government, you're wrong when you're denying people a decent living because somebody like Black Sun says they want freedom and freedom can be had at the expense of other people. He wants his freedom at the expense of somebody not even having health care. No, that's wrong, government. So before we can get to that part, hold on. Pow, shots fired.
Yeah,
shots
I
fired.
was just about to say he shot at today. He shot at a couple times.
So before we can get to that point, we have to, we're going to practice in capitalism, but we have to limit its effect. We get these people who may not individually have the money to buy a business, but when they're taught good economic sense and business sense, and they socially, culturally, it's an understanding, even not for them, for their children, then we can get in co-ops. To conclude it with this, I'll show you how it's social cultural. You know, I deal with Africans and Arabs, and they have a thing called a shushu. They do that. Their businesses come together and they put money in the pot, and every month one of the businesses gets some money out to ensure that that's a part of their social cultural understanding of running business. And they developed that to, they've adapted that to help them be beneficial or to help them be successful in a capitalist country. This is the line of thinking I'm saying that even if we don't get it, I would like to see us start to instill in our children collective economics. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got it, your boy ain't got it by himself, why y'all can't work together and get it? You know what I'm saying? Get a co-op, call some people in, pull some people in. Let's spread the wealth. You know what I'm saying? Don't you not have, because you don't have it all, and it's about individual mobility. And if you do have it and you got a little extra, can you give game to somebody, or can you start a co-op, you know, with some people and get them, let's get this wealth, let's start to close this economic disparity, and we'll never do it trying to participate in capitalism the way they do. It's not designed for us to do that. Dr. Claude Anderson talks about that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not designed for, we listen, I could go on in days for that. But just to say that we can't even compete with them in the market. You know what I'm saying? We're putting our little products out there in a fucking global market against these crackers in this capitalist, and capitalism is private enterprise and free competitive spirit of a competitive market, in a free market. So we don't even have the productivity nor the surplus anything to compete in that. Why wouldn't we begin to close in our ranks and only shop with one another and start to do business with one another more? You know, and my last thing, I know I say concluding, and my last thing, because you will see their stores in our communities, but you never see us in, or you never see them shopping in one of our stores. You don't see our stores in their community. Go to Koreatown, go to Chinatown, Little Italy, anywhere. You never see black shops in those places. But all up and down our communities, every one of them ethnicities got a shop.
Why do we allow it?
Yeah. And what commodities are we offering to anybody else?
Individual.
Right, exactly.
Well,
besides our labor.
It's exactly, and that's by design. And secondly, like I said, the competitive thing, it's hard to compete. If we don't have a social culture to spend with ourselves, first thing we got to do is get off this nigga stuff of, yo, hook a brother up. Hook a brother up, black man. Let a nigga get 20% off. We should be giving a brother a tip. And secondly, we can't afford to compete like that. So our prices sometimes will be jacked up. They be higher than our competitors because we can't compete on that global level.
That's the whole point of reparation.
Exactly. And not only that, when we talk about the Mississippi campaign, you'll have fertile land you can plant, I don't know, watermelons, you can plant cantaloupes, and we'll be able to compete on a
Black Son, you know our people not doing that. You know our people not doing that.
No, not all people, Trevor, but some will. So let's take.
What you mean? They're gonna buy land? What do you mean, Black Son? They're gonna buy land and plant watermelons?
Yeah, they
and
can
farm. Come on,
where are they getting the money to buy the land from? Black Son, you need to get it. I almost got.
Let me address you real quick, Yang. Let me address you.
So let me ask.
Hold on.
So they're gonna be. What they gonna do? Start gleaning? No disrespect, Anonymous.
Okay. First of all, hey, I know you're gonna go, but no. Let me say this. Let me address one thing, Yang, because again, it comes down to economical freedom. when you said free health, first of all, taxpayers pay that health care. There's no such thing as free health care. There's no such thing as free education. There's no such thing as free anything. That's the misconception. Right. So black people who are educated on economics will know when you say free, free healthcare, free that, they're like, nah, nigga. That means I'm getting taxed. I'm getting taxed. And I want financial freedom. I want the choice to say whether, okay, I want to work with these people or not work with these people. What you're saying is socialism being imposed on these people. And I'm saying everybody don't see that. A lot of black people don't see that way. You know what I'm saying?
And let me say this, Black. Okay. Let me say this, Black son. They were talking about the farming. Right. You have to understand, we in 2022. Part of the Mississippi campaign is allocate land to black people to start business alongside with reparations. Do you think if I have an opportunity and I have hundreds of acres of land, the resources to buy the equipment, it ain't like I'm out there with a mule tied to a tiller and I got to be out. No, ain't nobody doing that. No, your 21st century farmers don't do that. You're going to tell me, you said black people ain't gonna do it. You're gonna tell me if you allocated hundreds of acres of land, giving the crops, just like they did in the Homestead Act, giving the equipment, and having a multi-million-dollar business in farming, you say you wouldn't do it?
I would do it. I would do it. Because
I guess the black people knew how to do it. I probably wouldn't because I don't know nothing about farming.
Y'all do know the number one export to Saudi Arabia is our food, right? You do understand this, right? To Europe and the rest of the world, it's our number one commodity is the food that we export. We're the number one in food source.
But here's what I'm saying. But that doesn't benefit. Okay, let me go back. The first thing I want to answer is about the healthcare. The first thing I want to answer is about the healthcare and the taxation and your freedoms. That's why I took shots at your freedoms. Your freedoms. You want freedom at the expense of other people. Yes, you do. I mean, listen, it's socialism. I don't know about when you talk about European socialism, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But when you're talking about what you're talking about is regulations. What you're talking about, son, what you're talking about in an egalitarian society. What you're talking about in your friend, hold on, check me out. In your freedoms, you may not be able to have 8 houses and nobody has 1 home. You may have to cut it down to 6 houses, son. You may not be able to have 20 cars. You may only be able to have 10 cars, son.
You're being extreme. That's too extreme.
No, that's what you're talking, though. When you're talking your personal freedom, you're talking deregulation. Wait a minute. You're talking deregulation. You're talking no caps. The government, there is a responsibility for those people. And I'm not for, I'm not especially as disadvantaged as black people are right now. I'm not for less government. You know what I'm saying? I say when you, like my man says, like I'm with MD, when you release them reparations, fuck your government. It can crumble. But right now, as it stands right now, there is no hope for us. You might get off on less government, black son, because you fit a certain economic class bracket, but that's not communalism. That's individualism. And what we're saying is, and there's black people that are, and that's why but I'm gonna tell you, you're outnumbered. If the masses of black people had a choice and the few that have the opportunity of upward mobility, like in your economic class, you would be outnumbered, bro.
Not if they're educated on socialism. If most people,
you would be outnumbered. Most black people, the majority of black people who are in the position that.
Yanga, I think we should divide up the states then. Let there be red states, let there be blue states. Let there be people who are for communalism, and let there be people for the free market. And I tell you, divide it down the middle, and those people in those communal states will be rushing to go to those goddamn free market states.
Those people,
it would be like a refugee camp.
Yeah.
No, those people in those free states, let me tell you something. They would be running to a state. They would be running to a state where they know they will at least have a certain standard of living. Your system, your state will ensure an oppressed class. That's the only way your system can survive.
No,
You
that's not
have to.
true.
It is. You have to have a consumer class. It is, bro. What is capitalism? Black people don't participate. So you tell me this: are black people predominantly investor capitalists or consumer capitalists?
Consumer.
Exactly.
No, I agree. However,
so tell me about your state. So how the majority of black people are consumer capitalists, bro?
Let me tell you about the state. There's more people employed in red states. And blue states have more social programs like food stamps, goddamn unemployment, this and that. And you got people in droves running the red states to go work because they can't move. They're stuck. Once you're stuck under that goddamn system, you're stuck.
You'd have to. Let me tell you something. You'd have to bring those statistics because in red states, you know why they're coming. You know why. Do you know why? Do you know why? You know why? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why, son. Let me beat you up on this fact. Somebody get him some Band-Aids. I've been beating up on him all night. I didn't want to do it to you. Let me listen, son. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because in those red states, brother, those red states ain't unionized. Do you know the turnover rate for employment? You can be fired for anything.
I'm not saying
you can be fired for anything. In states those states will work you to death. Those states will work you to death. There's no health care. There's no insurance, and you're not unionized. So by the time they work your ass to death, and you can't do anything, then they just roll you over and they get somebody else. That's why it's always employment in those states, or it looks to be. Secondly, what they do, and let me say this. Secondly, what they do, how they cook the books is they deny you. Hold on. Let me tell you. They did. Hold on. Let me tell you. And I'll prove it. Hold on. And I'll prove it. They cook the books because what they do, they deny you unemployment, or people don't file for unemployment. So statistically, it looks like the employment rate is still high because they've denied these people unemployment. They look at the employment rate or the unemployment rate based on the checks that they passing out, bruh. They cooking the books. When you're out here, I will. Our next call, Solar. Who the hell is it? Solar, get on here. Who the hell is Solar? And bring your shucking buck. If Solar get on here trying to defend that shit, I'm going to bust Solar's head. If Solar get on here defending that shit, I'm going to bust his head. Solar, get on here.
Man, call Solar.
Oh, set up the debate? Okay, I'm going to call Solar. We're going to set this debate up. We're going to set this debate up with your deregulation self. Boy, you Republicans, you conservatives, I swear. Let me turn on I got to give my brother the look. Let me turn my camera on so I can give my brother the look. Put my glasses on. I got to give you the look, brother. I got to give you the look. That's absolutely. But great, be a great debate. I'm telling you. I honestly just don't see.
So you're in the class. Listen, come on down here. I'm dropping the link. You goddamn listening to goddamn show. Let's not play these goddamn games. You know you want me in the Yanga debate. You know don't want that.
So that's it. No, that's some good stuff.
You're lucky.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, son. I would cream you on that. Them Republicans, and here's the thing.
Hey,
what's
you're lucky
funny?
I'm not in the league. You're lucky I'm not in the league. You're lucky I'm just.
I'm gonna tell you something. If I believed in the American system, I can't wait till they let you back in the league. Just one time, we're gonna give them a one-time show. The arena gonna come in and kick everybody's ass in the league. But me and Son gonna give y'all a one-time show. Son's gonna get back in the league, and we're gonna give y'all what y'all want. We're gonna give y'all that debate. But I'm gonna tell you this: if I believed in the system, if I called myself an American, period, that's it. Yeah, I'd probably be very conservative. I'd probably be a Republican. However, being a part of the lumpen proletariat, being a part of the masses of Black people, I'm looking at the collective. It's called the human race, and it's called that for a reason. We the only people that ain't running the damn thing. We the only people, we the black people, the only people that ain't in the race of the human being. So I believe that we have to start looking at solutions that are inclusive to the best of our ability for all of us as black Africans here in America to be able to participate in. And we have to demand the state. The first thing we demand the state, before we even get to the state saying that we demand the state to make sure human beings have a decent standard of living. But the first thing we have to demand of the state is the end of the intentional, deliberate hindrance of natural evolution of black people. Then we can address the gross fucking abuses that the state has. Like this, for one instance, in Atlanta, before we changed up the neighborhood, when you looked around, why is it that you got vacant houses, abandoned houses, houses with no families, and then you go under the bridge and you got families with no homes? How's that work?
I mean,
you see what I'm saying?
I got you. But what I'm saying,
you got an eyesore. You got a blight.
Okay, but at the end of the day, it's going to take the black workers to move things. It's going to take black workers to move.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Black workers, not the black petty bourgeoisie. Now, I think the black workers will be, yes, brother. I think the black workers would be more in agreement with me.
Black workers working where? Industrialism is dead. Like black workers working where? You talking about all these black cities that were built off the industrialist era.
Yeah.
That's how we could live there. We ain't got that no more.
No, I agree. That's why that form of socialism is dead. I'm talking about any black worker below what they call the working poor that are living from check to check. Those that don't have the opportunity for that upward mobility, the working fucking poor, the brother and sister trying to raise families working 2 jobs, one at Kroger's and one at McDonald's because of a felon or because they were denied the opportunity or they come from an impoverished family. There was no generational wealth. There was no chance. Colleges cost to go to. And if you can't go to college, you're denied certain opportunities to participate in serve with upper mobility. So that's what I'm talking about. The working poor. I think they would be in more agreement with me that something has to be done about the conditions, why they're being regulated to this class. Hell yeah.
So what you're saying, you think the government's going to solve that, Yanga?
No, I think, like you said,
you talk about deregulation, you're talking about giving the government more power, and I'm not with that.
I'm talking about regulation. I ain't talking about deregulating. I'm talking about eventually.
No, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. Yeah. There needs to be less government. What is what I'm saying? Bro.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. You feel like less government. You know what? I could agree with that. I could agree with that if I was a full American citizen. I could agree with that.
Wow.
I could agree. I could agree with that if I was a full American citizen. If I didn't believe that I was a black African American.
What makes you not a full citizen? Come on, now, goddamn, I got
me personally, because I have a felony. I've been denied my right back into the entrance of society. I haven't been given back all my full rights. And that's some bullshit because I paid all my debts. I did the physical time rather. I paid back the monetary damage that they said I had. And under the contract of probation and parole, that was 40-something years ago when I was 17. And you mean to tell me I still can't get certain jobs or I'm still hindered from participating? I can't carry firearms, certain places you can't vote. So me, and the millions of black people who have been given that scarlet letter like me. So those of so I don't consider myself a citizen. Secondly, Black America generally. I don't think anybody on this panel would deny, I hope anyway, that there's a thing of systemic racism, that black people are intentionally targeted. I mean, how do we not see that? So no, until I have full citizenship as like any what they call white America or this and that ends. No, I don't look at myself as an American. I look at myself as a Black African American because that's how I believe that America looks at me, as Black American. They don't look at me as American. The only time they look at me as American is when we go into fucking war. Then everybody want me to be patriotic. American, you're American. And then come back from a war, been in Afghanistan, they killed all kind of colored people and shit like that. Come over and police blow your fucking brains out.
Well, Yanga,
I think you'll feel very different,
America.
man, if you had the wealth that's supposed to be allocated to you. I think you'll feel a lot better.
You know
about
what?
being
You probably I don't know about being American, but I would feel a lot better. I don't know if I would ever feel because I'm not blinded to what America was founded on. I know this system is corrupt. You can't. It's rotten
with
to the
all that
core.
corruption, but MD just said, there's a lot of people that are not Americans and they coming over here enjoying the wealth. So come on now.
Absolutely, but they're not your black ass though. They're not your black ass.
Listen,
that's what I'm telling you. That should be a problem. How are all these so-called people coming over here enjoying American privileges, and somebody who's been here all their life like you can't even go in certain neighborhoods? Ride your black ass through Buckhead at a certain time of night. Not Bankhead, Buckhead. And see what happens to you. That's what I'm telling you. Why is that a reality? Why can't you go to Foresight? Why is that a reality in so-called America? Why are we still fighting to have them include us? Why are we still pretending that they want us to be accepted or a part equally in their system? And their system wasn't designed for that. Their system was designed to have a nigger. And you are it, unfortunately. So I feel like go ahead,
let me cut in real quick. So we know all of that. Why do we still fight so hard to be included?
Exactly.
Why don't we just try to separate?
But Trevor,
let's ask them on that side of the screen over here. It's like this side. Let's ask them on that side of the screen. Yeah, why do we fight so hard to be included and accepted?
Andy, you want to go first?
I don't want to be accepted by anyone. I want to be included in the system that made me an asset in this country. That's what I want. So I definitely want inclusion in that sense. And we have every right to deserve that inclusion.
MB, but okay, because I've been hearing you talk about reparations all night. Like what dollar amount are we talking about?
I mean, there's been several values put out there. I think Sandy Darity put it in around. I think he had it in around 430 trillion.
Allocated.
Yeah, and it won't be a lump sum. You know what I mean? It'll be in increments, generationally. You know what I mean?
Now that sounds good, but are you aware of the statistic, like for a lot of lottery winners, that once they get a big lump sum of money, they normally lose it within like 3 to 5 years?
Again, like I said earlier.
Well, no, hold on. And the reason I say that, I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but when you put that type of money in the hands of people who's not used to ever having money, you're literally gonna give it back to your oppressor. Like literally. That's what's gonna happen.
I get you. And if that's what you do, and you find yourself up Shit's Creek, I feel bad for you. I do what I can, but I feel bad for you.
See, I think that's the question. MD, so you have to understand, Trevor, if I'm understanding MD correctly, he doesn't look at the system as being oppressive. That's why he doesn't matter if they give the money back to the system, because to him, the system isn't oppressive.
I don't want to speak for him. Do you feel that way?
No, listen. I'm not saying that the system is oppressing us. We don't have the resources to fight back on any way, shape, or form to rectify the system in our name. That's where the reparations come into play. What? There's nothing we could do to fight oppression of a people that don't want us here. I don't give a damn if you don't want me here or not. I was brought here. I was raised here. I'm here. I'm an American, just like you. You have to give me the resources to do what I have to do in this country to be successful for me and my family. We never got that. Never. We were supposed to get it. That's where the precedents come into play. It's the Asian community, the East Indian community.
MD, that's why I have to stop you, bro, because I feel like that's where the three called Monty coming in. Because how do you speak of community, but you're not an advocate for a community? You say, like, you got me with the reparations. I agree with the reparations. But then you say, when we get the money, they can do whatever they want to do with it. That's not community.
That's not community.
I'm not telling you that we shouldn't have
communities, though.
I'm not telling you that we shouldn't have advocacy groups to practice political literacy and to join forces on a path. I'm not saying that we don't supposed to do that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm telling you is, in the society that we live in, it's up to me to build my wealth. Now, if I choose, like I'm telling you, it's your choice. This country is about destiny. When I have the system, the resources in place, I choose my destiny at that point. These other communities chose their destiny. They came here with, despite popular belief, they came here with resources to build said community. That was their choice. I'm not saying that we don't supposed to have a sense of community socio-economically. I'm not saying that. But what you do with your money is what you do. I cannot stop you. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying we're supposed to have a foot at the line just like everybody else in this country. If you want to race, we can race. If you don't want to, that's on you. It's not going to be everybody. It's not going to be a monolith. I'm sorry, it ain't. But everybody that's descends from slaves here in America should have that opportunity to do whatever the hell they need to do to grow. We never got that. So I'm looking at the starting line.
I agree with that, but I think I agree with you on that, but I still think I think you're mixing and weaving it. Like, you're saying things that I think every black person.
Personal freedoms. You can't take. You're going to have a problem.
It's not about personal. It's not about personal. It's not about personal. Listen, your freedoms sound like, to me, son, white man's freedoms. The white man felt like they called it. What do they call that shit? Divine destiny. What is it or whatever?
Predestination.
Preordained. Yeah, predestined. So he feels like. Yeah, he feels like he should be free, but his freedom comes at your expense, son.
No,
that European. Yes, that's what you're saying.
You're taking away the freedoms. Like, let those people. Are these people not grown? MD was talking about handing reparations out to grown folks, not children.
But here's what we're talking about, son. See here's what we're talking about. What you felt, so-called soul. I wanted to debate you so bad. I'm gonna call it. Y'all had the ambulance waiting outside. Y'all gotta take him out on the stretcher. What you're feeling to realize here, this is why I say that it's used interchangeable, because he keeps talking about other communities, but he's not talking about us taking community actions. When those other communities come over here, they come over with an understanding of social, cultural collectiveness. When the Hispanics come over here, they come with that understanding of building a community. I love what he's saying about the reparations.
In front of black men and their money, boy, they will kill you, bro.
Right, and also
we're not talking about.
Those people come over here with a cultural understanding of what they need to do as a collective. We weren't like that, but we were never like that.
I agree. I agree. No, I think we
were.
But they
in this country. We came from all shapes and sizes.
We absolutely. But brother, you guys, y'all cited Black Wall Street, Rosewood. You guys cited our ability to work collectively. So we can come together socially, culturally, based on survival, not based on, it doesn't have to be based on language,
That's based on
food,
capitalism.
dress,
Yeah, those
dance.
black people were
All of
producing
that.
commodities to benefit them.
That's
That's
right.
what they were doing.
Absolutely. And nobody is saying not to do that. What I'm saying is we have bitten into the dream of Americanism, which they didn't bite into that dream. Their position and station of what they were in America was very clear to them. It was crystal clear what they were and who they were. We've bitten into the dream of Americanism, of individualism, and not you, MD, but a lot of people, even escapism. It's easier to disassociate yourself from your people. It's easier to do it by yourself. It is harder to do it collectively.
No, I disagree.
You know what I'm saying? Because
they were saying don't get in front of them when they get their reparations money. You're not going to tell them
nobody,
what to do.
but that's what I mean. You're mixing and matching. You're mixing and matching what I'm saying. Nobody's saying don't give us our reparations. Everybody's down for their reparations. What I'm saying is, how does it benefit black people to give it right back to the system? You're still in the same boat. Okay, so 30 Negroes got rich. So 30 Negroes got rich.
And
that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying I have faith in them. In at least 15 of those black people are going to goddamn make that shit work.
But that's what I'm talking. But that's not collectivism though. You keep trying to make it black people. Y'all people in that certain economic class keep trying to take your minority and speak for them. See, this is the problem with so-called black leadership. Because most black leadership, they are educated and they come from a certain economic class and they try to paint their little minority as black people. We the black people. But when you talk about the masses of black people, this is what I'm talking about. I'm in total agreement with reparations. But if we don't have a strong economic plan, social political plan, giving it back to the system is just more of the same shit. We just still fighting the revolution. We're still in the same spot.
What I'm saying historically, after slavery, during Reconstruction, we were left on our own. We had Jim Crow's laws that were against us. So naturally, we had to build up from goddamn sharecropping. And if we have reparations, I have faith in the people that they will make the right decisions. These are grown people. We're not talking about children.
When you talk about absolutely not. Because you're talking about, like you said Jim Crow laws.
Right.
You know, so we had stuff where we had to spend with one another. I don't believe the current state of Black America now, being consumer capitalist, searching for escape, having this individualism. I'm not saying don't get their reparations. I'm not saying don't get their reparations. What I'm saying is don't let that. Okay. What I'm saying is
Yanga trying to say the dollar needs to circulate amongst us. That's not how you build wealth. That's not
why
how
not?
you do it.
Whoa! Why not? What?
How can you build wealth? How can you build me? All four of us are, and we continuously pulling a dollar around. How are we building wealth? That's not how you build wealth. You build wealth by resources, commodities. That's how you build wealth.
Yeah.
We have to start producing. And when I produce, I'm not just selling it to you. I'm selling it to whoever want to buy it.
Yeah, y'all made me want to debate now. God damn.
I'm gonna have to give you absolutely. You sell it to whoever you want to buy it. You sell it to whoever you want to buy it. But how your community keeps wealth? How do you think the Jews are so wealthy? You don't spend out if you got the butcher.
The Jews have a culture. The Jews have a culture in which they produce their own goods for their own people, and other people.
That's what we're talking about.
Circulate the dollar.
And they
circulate their dollar.
Listen, they don't shop out in their community. They have the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. They don't have to go outside their community. That's what we're saying. We're saying that dollar should go around our community.
And every now and then I enjoy some of the products that they got, like what's kielbasa and all that other stuff.
Yeah, and every now and then they enjoy soul food. So what do you say? I'm saying we don't control, but what we do, we turn around and let Chinese people sell soul food.
But you didn't say that. You're talking about circulating whatever goods we have around us. That's not going to work.
No,
So
I didn't say
you
that.
have
I
to have
said
a
we
plan in
need it.
place. You have
That's
to
what
have a
I
plan in
said. I said
place
we
for
need it.
resources being
We have
produced.
international trade
That's
also.
what I said. I said we need a social. What I said was that reparations shouldn't be the be all. We need a economic, political, even a social cultural plan. Because if we just get reparations, that's the end of it. If we think, like you said, Brother MD, Revelations, final chapter, we're only going to give it back to the system, which will only perpetuate more oppression. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying reparations, yes. Also, what is the national plan for Black people to move as a collective? What is our plan on that? Just giving it back. Americanism, to me, is not a plan for Black people. Americanism doesn't work for us. And we see it. We've been practicing it thus far, and still the majority of our people are on the bottom of the totem.
We haven't practiced
That's
it.
it.
What we're talking. No.
Yeah, because we don't have the resources to do it. We've never done it.
Right.
All we could do is buy.
And
That's all we could do.
Intentionally. That's what I'm telling you. Just because you pump money into the system, it's not going to change the sentiment of America. Racism is interwoven, it's intrinsic. Redlining is real. Predatory lending is real.
And that was real.
Police brutality is real. No, here's the difference. But here's the difference. But here's the difference between Jim Crow, though. They didn't sell you a dream. Civil rights sold you a dream of Americanism. Now you think you included. In Jim Crow, we knew emphatically where we were, what they thought of us. So we worked together based on survival. Now with integration and assimilation and homogenation, we actually believe in Americanism. We've bitten into individualism. Fuck the collective. Fuck the masses of Black people. As long as I can get mine, I'm good. Rugged individualism. White man should demand. Here's the trick of it. They teach you the Maverick, the Lone Ranger, Captain Kirk. But they work collectively. White supremacy is a system. They don't even do it by themselves. But they got Negroes thinking that it's all about the individual. Pull myself up. These niggas and about myself. But when we look at the whole, and I believe naturally, we're a communal people. I believe that is just something in us, or it should be anyway. And so when we look at us collectively as a whole, the economic disparity is too fucking wide. So this system, that bears witness that this system is not favorable to us as a people. That's what I'm arguing. That's why I don't see what you
understand that. I understand that, but I think you're missing the point in terms of a situation which was not on us versus a situation in the terms of reparation, which is totally on you. You know what I mean? Like at that point, like that's, like I said, it's destiny at that point. I'm trying to like see what the disconnect is. Like once you have the assets to build your own wealth, there's nothing stopping.
That's now, what we disagree.
With the mindset that you have, it should be no issue.
That's where we disagree. That's where we disagree. I believe that the system practice systemic racism. And I believe that first of all, capitalism in a whole, I believe the way that America practices it, I believe is too consumptuous. I believe that it gives the few way too much. The deregulation is too much. Like I said, a person can own 20 homes. And you mean to tell me that we got homeless people, or we can spend all this money in military or space exploration or whatever the fuck, and you got people that are denied basic human essentials. We can do a little better. That's what I'm saying about that. Secondly, I'm saying that at me as a Black person, the current system targets Black people, and they will let a few through as token Negroes, but as a whole, Black people have been made the cog of American capitalism all the way back from slavery. They created a condition and a class for Black people. And the
I
current
don't
system
disagree with that.
maintains and enforces that. That's what and so I feel like when we get reparations, if we don't have an alternative plan, if we just like, well, shit, whatever you do with it, you do with it, then it's just more of the same. It's like the stimulus packet on a larger scale. Shit. It's, you know what I'm saying? I would at least like to be able to provide the people with an alternative. You know what I'm saying? Not just, I go buy your Nikes, go buy you the, and a few of y'all got some sense. Y'all might get some businesses. They may work, they may not work, because even though you got sense, you still fighting systemic racism. You're still fighting a white supremacist bloc. Just like my sister, and I ain't gonna be long with it. My sister's in the hair. She's one of the baddest in Atlanta. Shouts out to IO VIP if you're in the locks, check out. So she wanted to get into the supply aspect of it.
Oh,
And
that's
so when
lock.
she went to the Koreans, lock. They don't care if she had lower prices. They told her outright they only shop from Koreans. Yet and still, Black people are the largest, Black women are the largest Black hair care consumers. But we don't even have
pre-market. They captured the market first.
that.
But what
agree.
makes you?
But
what makes you think that wouldn't happen in any facet of life though?
right.
It's like if we start getting reparations and we start opening community stores, we're already conditioned that we're going to go shop at the Arab Man store or at the 7-Eleven. That's what I think, that the more money we get, it's not going to help us, because
Absolutely.
that's where we get into the redistribution of the dollar. Now we have the land. Now we have the land to put the businesses on. But if our people still aren't shopping at our businesses, what the hell is the point? Like, how are we getting ahead?
Negro too dumb to start a business. What you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that our people have this crab in, I hate to say it, man, this crab in the barrel mentality, that it's like the more you get, now they're gonna be like, you know what? He has too much. I'm not gonna shop with him now. Let me go. I'd rather give my money to the other guy. And you know that. I mean, that's just how it is.
I disagree with that.
I don't know. I feel like with the businesses, I feel like Black people will enter into capitalism like the white man. And like Dr. Claude Anderson said in Powernomics, individually, we're not strong enough to compete in that capitalist market like the white man as an individual business. We have to move collectively. You know what I'm saying? Like Trevor and I was talking about, first having the dollar generate around our community, taking control of it, because they target us and market to us. Nike Air. Hell, I seen the Cheerio Honeybee breakdancing with Usher. Black people are targeted. You know what I'm saying? So when we start taking our businesses and we start working together to compete with Cheerio, when we can get Usher to dance for our cereal, when we can get, our business and work, like, that's what I'm talking about. We have to go in like conglomerates and shit. We go all this little independent businessman and get my business trying to compete in this capitalist system, and white people don't work. They will block us like the Koreans do with the hair. White people will block us. Hispanic people will block us because we're coming in individually. We're not coming in as a block. We're not coming in as the fried chicken kings. You know what I'm saying? We got the corn on fried chicken. You got to fuck with us or whatever. That's what I mean. We don't, even if we have to participate in capitalism, our participating in capitalism like America, in Americanism, is not going to be advantageous for us. I just advocate moving collectively. You have to move collectively.
Well,
to make a dent.
Well, I'll say this to you, brother. Mississippi campaign. Mississippi is an agricultural state. There go your market right there. There go your market. Like, and it's there for the take. So like, but like you said you ain't getting in the field, so there's that.
I probably wouldn't take my reparations by no more because I ain't gonna bullshit myself. I know I'm not a farmer.
Well,
I'm not gonna throw money into something that I don't know how to do. But I would I like the idea of going down there and getting reparations. That first part of the Mississippi campaign, shit, I'm with that. Give us everything that we're owed. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know what's our next move after that. You know what I'm saying? Collectively. Individually, shit, that's great. Collectively, as a people, I'm, looking for our next move.
I got you, bro.
All right. Yeah. Well, hey, y'all. Man, we done went on 2 hours, man. This is a fire show. Man.
I'm gonna call Solar too. We're gonna get that debate.
Solar.
We're gonna get that debate.
You got your wish, Trevor.
We're gonna get that debate.
You got your wish, Trevor. I was trying to retire.
We're gonna see if we can get you back in the league.
Merciful to all these debaters.
No, don't retire now. Don't retire now.
Yeah, call Solar.
Yeah, call him.
Absolutely. Man, great show, fellas. Great information. MD, man, thank you for being on. I was talking about you to Son, and I was telling him how much I really appreciate you coming on and how staunch in your position, how I respect how staunch in your position.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good.
But
like I said,
I really just think the way that you bring that thing across. Yeah. And the way you bring that thing across is very solid, man. Very solid. I appreciate all you guys on the panel. Hey, y'all out there, definitely don't forget. Y'all know y'all like this shit. Y'all know y'all like this. So don't forget to hit the like button because you do like it. Subscribe to it. You know what I'm saying? Tell your peoples about it. And check us out, man. And it's only going to start getting hotter from here. We're going to start having like this, right? This champion corner. When Son told me about this, I was like, oh, I love this. We got to make this a regular. I had Trevor and them on a regular. So we got to figure out how to do that, But definitely, man, I appreciate all you guys.
And you see how you could have a panel of men without calling each other bitch ass niggas and talking over each other. That's how you conduct business. That's how men talk.
Yes.
We got to start bringing some respectability back to the platform, man.
I agree.
For sure.
Man, that's the key. For sure. That's the key. Because this is how, like you say, how men talk, how men get things done. This is why I love the diversity in the Black community. Because I walk away enlightened from conversations with MD. My conversation game is nothing but tighter. Now, when I go sit around my people, they're like, damn, who's been talking to? I pull away from Trevor and Son. This is what you get from diversity. You get the good exchange, and it should only tighten your game up. So that way, when you talk to somebody like, yeah, I didn't already talk to a nigga like Yanga, so I already know where this sucker coming. So then you get, so definitely, man, I love the arena. Appreciate you guys coming on again. And and for me, I'm gonna say that's my pieces. I guess everybody else has to send their piece out.
Hey, any closing words, MD, Trevor? Yeah, y'all take us on.
Hey, I appreciate having me on, man. When you said I could come on today, I had to hurry up and get home and cut my hair and get in front of the camera, man. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the dialogue, and like I say, today I was listening to an Israelite panel, and the amount of arguments and cursing one another out, it was ridiculous, man. I'm like, and you guys are Bible thumpers, and I almost wanted, I almost wanted to hit the link so I could ask them like, what is this doing for our community? Besides just enhancing you guys' egos. So I love the arena, man. Y'all make sure y'all share it. I share it on my Facebook page all the time. So, y'all come on in, man, and hear some real strong arguments where people aren't arguing and yelling over one another. We all get our points out, and at the end of the day, we walk away like men. You know what I mean? And that's it.
Yeah.
I'll just say peace to everybody, man. Hey, Blackson and Yanga, I'm gonna get Talik to share my information with you so you can hit me up and let me know when you come on. You know what I mean? And you know, like I told you, man, if I'm available, I'll tap in with you.
Okay.
It ain't no thing. But yeah, I'll just say peace, man.
Okay.
Cool. Man.
Okay.
Peace.
Definitely. My thing froze up, so son had to tell me what you said. I missed half of that. Damn connection. But I should be in Atlanta in a couple days, so it'll be better.
Okay.
What was you saying, son?
No, I was just saying he's going to leave us information so we can all coordinate. Trevor, is Tuesday cool for you? Like same time around, like Tuesday? Or
Any day as long as it's after 6:30.
Okay, all right, cool. Well then, I'm gonna hold you to that. So
Cool.
6:30. Okay,
Cool.
all right. So y'all want to move it to Tuesday, like Tuesday or?
Yeah, I mean it's cool with me because Fridays normally my family time.
Okay, yeah. Got you.
More in the week is better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. That's great with me. Like I said, and I'm probably about to get ready to make some changes here in a minute too. So it might work out better for me.
Okay, cool. All right, y'all. Well, we out. Hey,
and let me end with this. And we out, but I'm gonna end with this. Hold on, let me say this real quick too. Especially my man T for SVDL debaters. And y'all hear my man MD coming. Y'all watch out for the arena. This camp's building, and we ain't taking no prisoners. Just straight out the gate, man. So I got to send that shout out, man. The arena, man. Watch out for us. All right, with that, I'm gonna say peace.
All right, peace, y'all. We out.
Peace.